Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are not just going to geek out over abstract physics. We're tackling the ultimate asymmetric risk. We're talking about spending $12.5 billion to prevent a multi-trillion-dollar global economic collapse. If you've been following the quantum space at all, you know these machines are scaling up incredibly fast. But today, we're going to focus on the tangible, strictly quantifiable economic impact of this transition. We're going to see exactly how quantum computers are threatening modern encryption and why this $12.5 billion cost of security is, frankly, the most critical insurance policy our digital economy will ever buy. Adversaries may be collecting encrypted data now, waiting for the day when quantum computers can decrypt it. I really want you to think about that for a second. This is straight from a 2021 NSA assessment. Bad actors aren't trying to pick the lock on the vault today. They are literally just vacuuming up the entire vault, dragging it away, and waiting because they know they'll have the master key tomorrow. We aren't discussing some theoretical sci-fi threat that might happen a decade from now. This quote makes it crystal clear. The foundational attack vector is actively happening today. Our data is already being stockpiled. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll uncover the invisible quantum threat, look at the rapidly shrinking timeline to Q-Day, map out those macroeconomic stakes, examine the $12.5 billion market response, and finally, look at exactly how you can prepare your organization starting this quarter. All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the invisible quantum threat, and how data is already being stolen. The quantum threat is an active, present-day crisis known as Harvest Now, Decrypt Later, or HNDL. So how is this actually happening in the wild? Well, state-level actors are physically tapping undersea cables, they're intercepting VPN tunnels, and just siphoning off massive amounts of bulk internet traffic. Because storage costs at a nation-state scale are basically zero, they can easily afford to sit on this mountain of encrypted data for 10, maybe 20 years. They're just waiting for a cryptographically relevant quantum computer, a CRQC, to come online. And once it does, they'll use Shor's algorithm to retroactively crack every single thing open. The theft is happening right now. Extracting the value is just on a time delay. So what's the actual payload here? What are they targeting? Basically, these are specific types of data with a massive shelf life. We are talking about anything that absolutely must stay confidential well into the future. For aerospace, think about airframe designs that are meant to last 40 years. For pharmaceuticals, it's clinical trial data. I mean, why spend billions on R&D when you can just steal a rival's 10-year-old formula, right? Or think about long-term financial agreements that could be used for geopolitical blackmail decades later. The adversaries are making a very calculated bet here. The tiny marginal cost of storing petabytes of data versus the immense future ROI of decrypting proprietary research or classified comms. Which brings us to Section 2. Q-Day is approaching fast, and the timeline just shrank. Okay, for a long time, the standard assumption in the industry for breaking RSA 2048 encryption was that you'd need somewhere around 20 million physical qubits. This was because of this massive 1,000-to-1 error correction overhead. That made everyone feel pretty safe, right? Because building a 20 million qubit machine felt decades away. But recent papers from Google and Caltech have totally rewritten that math. By using new quantum low-density parity check codes, that overhead just shrinks dramatically. It's like, imagine trying to dig a tunnel through a mountain with a spoon, and someone suddenly hands you dynamite. That is exactly what this error correction breakthrough is. We went from needing millions of physical qubits to breaking elliptic curve encryption with as few as 10,000 reconfigurable neutral atom qubits. The math completely changed, and the timeline completely collapsed. This threat just moved from someday to practically next door. Because of this, major players and federal agencies are drawing hard lines in the sand. Just look at these dates. The NSA's standard explicitly prohibits acquiring non-post-quantum national security systems starting in January 2027. In enterprise IT cycles, 2027 is literally right around the corner. Google has publicly committed to migrating its own massive infrastructure by 2029. By 2035, the US government mandates a fully quantum-resistant infrastructure. Think about that for a second. If a tech behemoth like Google is sweating over a 2029 deadline to secure its networks, what does that mean for a mid-sized regional bank? The clock isn't just ticking. The alarms are absolutely blaring. According to the 2025 Quantum Threat Timeline Report, the optimistic expert estimate now puts a 49% probability on a cryptographically relevant quantum computer emerging within the next 10 years. Let that sink in. 49%. If I told you there was a coin flip chance that the encryption holding your bank account, your medical history, and your company's IP would completely shatter in the next 10 years, would you seriously wait until year 9 to do something about it? No way. If there was a 50% chance your enterprise firewall would fail next year, it would be a board-level emergency today. Let's move to Section 3, Trillions in Economic Risk. The stakes here are truly macroeconomic. You see, a quantum attack on our public key infrastructure doesn't just steal a few files. It fundamentally shatters the trust that verifies every single digital identity, secure banking transaction, and blockchain transfer on Earth. What does a cascading economic failure actually look like? Well, if a quantum computer cracks the encryption underpinning our networks, secure interbank messaging just collapses. Trillions of dollars stop moving. If interbank transfers fail, payrolls don't clear on Friday. If payrolls don't clear, supply chains grind to a halt by Monday morning. It is a literal existential threat to power grids and the global financial rails we blindly rely on every single second.
To put some hard numbers on this, the Citi Institute modeled a single-day attack on just one top 5 U.S. bank's Fedwire access. They estimated an astounding $2 to $3.3 trillion in GDP at risk from that one single breach. Put that $3.3 trillion into perspective. One attack on one institution could trigger a financial failure, translating to a 10 to 17% decline in U.S. real GDP, sparking an immediate 6-month recession. We are quite literally talking about an overnight modern-day Great Depression caused entirely by a math problem.
So we're staring down a security overhaul that is far more complex than the Y2K transition. Failure to address this jeopardizes $12.4 trillion in global digital assets. Let's think back to Y2K for a minute. That transition cost roughly $600 billion to $1.1 trillion in today's dollars, but it had a finite scope, finding a 2-digit date format and a completely fixed known deadline. This transition to post-quantum cryptography, it requires hunting down deeply embedded math libraries across decades of legacy code and replacing classical encryption across thousands of apps. It is, without exaggeration, the largest cryptographic upgrade in human history. All right, Section 4, the $12.5 billion solution, or the market's answer. Driven by those urgent government mandates and the active harvest now, decrypt later threat, the global market for post-quantum cryptography solutions is projected to hit $12.5 billion by 2030. That's a massive leap from just $1.2 billion in 2023. But listen, it is so vital that we don't frame this $12.5 billion as just some sunk IT cost. This explosive growth is funding a brand new era of cybersecurity. It's fueling an ecosystem of hardware, software, and services focused entirely on crypto agility. Organizations are realizing they can't manually swap out algorithms across vast networks. They need automated network layer solutions. This is the collective global investment required to shield that $12.4 trillion at risk. And honestly, while $12.5 billion sounds like a massive price tag, it is an incredibly cheap insurance policy compared to a multi-trillion-dollar collapse. Look at the SEC framework, which cited a global investment bank that ran a full audit. They found 47,000 cryptographic assets. Do you know what their full migration budget was? $12 million. Yes, $12 million is an expensive line item, but it highlights a crazy asymmetry. It is entirely manageable and plannable. You are spending a fraction of a percent to protect against an existential threat. Compare that to the sheer chaos and cost of trying to emergency patch your infrastructure after a quantum breach, while you're bleeding millions of dollars by the minute. Finally, Section 5, Preparing for the Quantum Era. Let's talk about what you need to do right now. Security teams often get paralyzed thinking this migration is too complex, but these 4 practical steps prove you can start building resilience today. Step 1, map your dependencies. You can't protect what you can't see. Step 2, pick one critical app and run a focused pilot. Step 3, and this is crucial, ensure you use crypto agility. What does that mean? It means decoupling your security from your application code. So when NIST inevitably updates a standard later, you just flip a switch at the network layer instead of spending 2 years rebuilding the app. And step 4, take those concrete timelines, like the 2027 NSA mandate, straight to your board to secure the budget you need right now. Now, the absolute biggest misconception we need to debunk today is that you have to map every single key in your network before you can start testing. Don't do that. Striving for a perfect inventory is the enemy of actual security here. The highest performing organizations are doing both at exactly the same time. Take Banco Sabadell, for example. This is a brilliant playbook. They ran a pilot deploying a post-quantum platform across their customer-facing web portal while their discovery phase was still ongoing. Zero downtime, minimal performance impact, full legacy compatibility. You do not need a perfect 100% complete audit of your enterprise before you secure your first critical system. So I'll leave you with this provocative thought to take back to your teams. What data does your organization have today that will still be sensitive in 10 years? Because whatever piece of data you just thought of, it's already at risk of being harvested today. If your intellectual property, patient records, or infrastructure blueprints will still matter in 2035, the countdown to secure them didn't just start. It is already ticking. You can either be part of the plannable $12.5 billion solution today or a multi-trillion-dollar casualty tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope this gives you the structured clarity you need to kick off your quantum safe journey.